Hey guys, I'm from One the Past here, and today I'm going to be doing my Neo Nectar deck profile. So yeah, let's just get started off with the starter, guys. Oh, just kidding, it's Gear Chronicles. Huh? Okay. Anyways, my starter is Timepiece Draco Kid. So Draco Kid is a great researcher. So yeah, Caraboss 1, put him in the soul. I run him over Gunner Gear because I like the timing of this better. It can give you the early soul for a soul last 2 draw 1, and it also helps you from getting grade stuck. So I like him over like the guaranteed plus 1. So yeah. And then I run 4 copies of Chronojet Dragon. So Chronojet Dragon, his Generation Break 2 is that when he attacks, he gets plus 5k, and then Glory Maelstrom skill cannot call grade 1s or higher, so basically forces them to guard with zeros or interceptors. So it's pretty good. Yeah, it's a good late game card. It helps you end games pretty fast when they're not checking triggers. But yeah. Then I run 3 copies of Rune Disposal Dragon. So Rune Disposal is the Legion in this deck. He Legions with Steam Knight Poozer Eerie, but his ability is pretty basic. It just on Legion it puts a grade 2 or lower rearguard of your opponents to the bottom of his or her deck. So, oh hey, they say his or her deck. Wow, that's very considerate. And then he also has another ability when he attacks, gets plus 2k, so swings for 22. It's pretty good. Can hit by himself. So yeah. Then I run 1 copy of Steam Maiden Elol. I run more, but you kind of need Ruin Disposal right now, I feel. Just because games can get pretty grindy right now. So, Steam Maiden Elol, during your turn, you get plus 3k for each face-up card in your G zone. So, it can get pretty high numbers. Yeah, really, really high numbers. You can probably, if you have like 4 face-up, that's already plus 12k. And then her other ability is when she's placed on Vanguard, you can Soul Blast 1 and then choose 1 card from your hand and call it to rearguard. It gets plus 5k. So this has a really sick combo with Steam Knight Poozer Eerie. So Poozer Eerie's ability is that you can Soul Blast 2 and he gets Silent Tom skill. So Silent Tom skill, you can't call grade 0s or higher. So basically the combo is you ride her, you call this, gets plus 5k, and then you have a 7k booster behind it. It can swing for 21 with Silent Tom skill. It's really nice. And you check triggers on it and they're like, oh, rip in pieces. But yep. And then I run 4 copies of Steam Fighter Amber. So Steam Fighter Amber is really good card. Generation Break 1, you can Caraboss 1 when it's boosted. You can choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less rearguards, put it at the bottom of the deck. So yeah, if you guys haven't noticed already, Gear Chronicles, their thing is returning opponent's rearguards to the bottom of the deck. So like, both of these aces can do it. This guy can do it. Yeah. They're just going to lose a lot of field potential, and then you're going to have a good time just swinging away, killing them with shield sacking, which is always amazing. And then I run 3 copies of Twin Mazer Dragon, because Twin Mazer is 12k, he can swing by himself in his own column, in his nice little own world. Yep, that's 11 grade 2s. So, next up I run 4 copies of Steam Raider Arlim. So Arlim is the perfect art on Flipper. So, on Flipper PGs, all you need to do is have a copy of them in the drop zone, and then when you perfect guard, then you can unflip a damage. So, as you can notice, I'm not using any of the trial deck PGs. 1, because I like this art better. 2, because I don't really give a crap about the cross. So, yeah, screw the cross, man. I don't like that deck. I'm sorry, but I just really don't. I think it's not the best deck, but hey, everyone plays it, whatever, right? But yeah, 4 copies of her, because, you know, screw Quintet Walls. They don't even have a Quintet Walls, so what am I even talking about? But yeah. Unflipping damage is really good in this deck, because you use a lot of counterblasts. Like, it doesn't seem like you do, but you actually do need the unflipping later on. Then I run 4 copies of Steam Breath Dragon. Don't have the foil ones yet, sadly, but you know what, whatever. Steam Breath Dragon, you can, when he's placed on rearguard, you can reveal grade 3 from hand, and then you can search your deck for 1 copy of Chronojet, and then ditch 1 card. So usually you can use them to get more grade 3s for Stride Fodder while building up your field, which is pretty good. Otherwise, his other ability is he gets plus 2 grade in hand, so you can just pitch him for Stride. And then I run 4 copies of Summit Crest Gear Wolf. So Summit Crest Gear Wolf is actually a pretty good card. He's Generation Break 1. He gets plus 3k when your opponent's rearguard is returned to the bottom of the deck, which usually should happen almost every turn, because you're either going to be returning stuff with Amber or Chronojet. So yeah, just make sure you have like, make sure you put him on the rearguard before you stride. So set him up the turn before, because then he can become a 10k booster for your Vanguard, which is really, really nice. Yeah, you see, there's this one card that's a 10k booster, but I don't like to run that one because this one's almost the same thing and he has 7k base. So finally for grade 1s, I run 2 copies of Steam Skara Gigi. So Gigi is a Soul Blast 2 draw one, so it's a Calamity Wyvern Tower clone. Technically, this is all a Luckbird clone because Luckbird was the first card that had this ability, but yeah. I know it seems contradictory with Pusa Area and Elol in the deck, but the Soul Blast draw it's very useful in some situations, so yeah. Then I run 4 copies of Lucky Pot Draco Kid. So Draco Kid is he's a Margot clone basically. You can use this to give something power. So usually Pusa Area when you have like a 10k booster behind him or something. But you can do the math yourself, or with the 12k columns. But yeah, do the math yourself. It makes numbers plus gives you additional soul to Soul Blast stuff or to use these abilities. And then after that, I run the standard 8 crit for heal. So 8 crit, and 4 heal. Their stand triggers don't work in this deck at all, so this is pretty much the best you can run. You don't want to run more than 4 draws because I hate running more than 4 draws unless you're playing a draw deck that can cycle a lot, but this one's not really one. And then I run, you usually want to run more draws if you're playing restanders, but there's no restanders. Then for the Stride deck, I run 2 interdimensional Lost Stage Dragons. So his ability is an on hit, spin the rear guard to the bottom of the deck, like when it hits. So when it hits, your opponent you choose a rear guard and then put it at the bottom of the deck. So it's pretty good. He's usually your first stride, unless your opponent tried to YOLO rush you and be an idiot because they don't have a perfect guard. Then you stride into this bad boy. Yeah, interdimensional dragon, Chronos Command Dragon. Generation rare, but doesn't really mean anything apparently because apparently it's not actually 4 per case, but I don't have any confirmation of that because I haven't actually opened the case, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, his ability is Counter Blast 2, Soul Blast 1, Dish 1. When this attack hits, put all your opponent's rear guards to the bottom of the deck. So it's pretty crazy if it hits, but you know, your opponent's usually going to guard this. It's only worth using if your opponent has 3 or more rear guards. So yeah, they choose the order, so you know, if you're playing against Tsukuyomi stack, be careful. And then I run 4 copies of Interdimensional Dragon, Ragnarok Dragon. So Ragnarok, he's a really good card. Basically, his ability is Counter Blast 1, flip 1 face down Interdimensional Dragon Ragnarok from your G zone, face up, so it's Persona Unflipper. So when you attack, you can pay cost, then your opponent can't call crate zeros from hand to Guardian Circle. So they basically have to perfect guard this, but the thing is that you can either pressure them to waste all their perfect guards, and later in the game, when you know your opponent doesn't have perfect guards, you just ride this guy and they like die. Because the rest of his ability is that if you have 2 or more face-up units in your G zone, then this guy gets +1 crit. So you can pretty much kill them at free damage if they're not careful, and if they waste all their perfect guards guarding Chronos Command, Lost Age Dragon, all your stuff. And guess what? If they all only have grade 1s or higher, then you can just go into Chronojet. Like it's so ridiculous, like how much shield stacking you can do to your opponent in this deck. Like they have so many units that just shield stack them. So yeah, overall, meta wise, how I think your Chronicles plays, I think they're pretty good, but the problem is that they have like 1 or 2 matchups where like their opponent doesn't really care when their rear guards are returned to the bottom of the deck. So pretty much you gotta rely on the crits and the shield stacking to win. Otherwise, I would say that it's a bit below Fangsaber, just because Fangsaber has a lot more better matchups. But yeah, reason why I don't just run 1 Lost Age Dragon is because Mystery Flare is a piece of crap. I don't know how people actually get this card's ability off, and it's not consistent enough for me to run. I'd rather get the guaranteed pluses off Lost Age Dragon. I also don't run Atmos. Where the hell is he? Whatever, I don't have my copies of Atmos on me, but Atmos, you have to use a Counter Blast for him, and honestly, the only reason why you use Atmos is because you know your opponent doesn't have a perfect guard. If you know your opponent doesn't have a perfect guard, you go into Ragnarok and kill them. So yeah, I'm going to be updating this deck again once I get my GBTOs 2 stuff in. There's going to be a lot of changes I can make to the Stride deck and to the main deck in general. But yeah, until then, I'm going to be running this. It's a pretty good deck. I've tested it a lot before. You might see it in some matches coming up. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Later.